Concerts I've been to. Hi, how are you? Don't worry. I'm not going to wear the silly glasses through the whole video. I just wanted to start out looking cool. Or ridiculous, I'm not sure. These are my Tyler Durden glasses. I tried to dress up as Brad Pitt's character from Fight Club for Halloween a long time ago in San Francisco. That's where I got these. What was that, 1999? Anyway, I've had those forever. Anyway, hi. So today I just wanted to talk about some of the concerts I've been to. And find out what concerts you've been to. I've only been to about 20 concerts in my life. I don't know if that's a lot, or you've probably been to more. I don't know. But I just wanted to tell you some of the concerts I've been to. The greatest concert I've ever been to was Spinal Tap. And if you've seen the movie Spinal Tap, you know they're absolutely ridiculous. So they came out with another album in 1992, because the movie came out in, 80? Something like that. They came out in 1992 with a new album called Break Like the Wind. And this is the cassette tape. And I went to the concert, and it was a scene, man. It was at the Keller Auditorium in Portland, Oregon. It was the auditorium where I actually had my high school graduation. And we went to there. And what was astonishing is that they were really good musicians. Because when you see them play in the movie, that's really them playing. Especially Nigel, man. He can do a guitar solo amazingly. And so that's the first thing that impressed me, is that they put on a whole 2-3 hour show. And it was really good music, and they were great, and they played a bunch of hits from the movie, and they played a bunch of hits from their new album, and but it was ridiculous. And I mean, I think it opened where they all come out of different bubbles, and somebody in a chicken suit comes out. I mean, it was total comedy the whole way through. And if you know the movie where they have little Stonehenge come down on stage, well, for this concert, the Stonehenge monument was too big. And it wouldn't fit because it came down on either side of the stage and then got stuck. So they overcompensated. And then Nigel just did this amazing guitar solo. And man, it was just ridiculous and fun and impressive. And a mosh pit started to form by the stage. And I stayed back because I didn't want to get in the middle of that. But it was just uproarious. It was wonderful. And what's amazing is that they're coming out with a new movie. They're coming out with a second movie, Spinal Tap, Long Forever or something like that, Anyway, so I think this September 2025, they're coming out with a sequel to Spinal Tap. I think I could be wrong, but I think I've seen some Instagram interviews saying that there is. So that's exciting. Anyway, that was fun. And so the next concert I wanted to talk about, Huey Lewis and the News. This is the band that did the song Power of Love in the movie Back to the Future. Huey Lewis and the News was a huge, successful band in the 80s. And it was just so cool to see them in concert. And about a month before the concert happened, I called a radio station, and I was caller 10. So I won a Huey Lewis album because the tour was promoting their 4 album. And so I got this 4 album and I went to the radio station and I picked it up and said, I was caller 10. And they say, here's your free record. And I took it home and I put it on the turntable and played it. And every song was scratched. So, but at least I got the album. I just couldn't listen to it. And so, we didn't have Spotify and everything like that. We had cassette tapes and record albums. And anyway, the concert was really cool. I sat behind the stage. It's the first time I've actually been to a concert where I sat behind the band, so I got to watch their backs the entire time. But the opening act was Bruce Hornsby and The Range. They're the band who did that song, That's Just the Way It Is. This was 1996. I think December of 96. And about that time, I saw one of my favorite musicians of all time, Billy Joel. Billy Joel is one of the biggest influences of my life, and he did his Bridge tour, and I think this was December of 86. Maybe I saw Huey Lewis in 87. Anyway, 1986 is when I saw Billy Joel at the Memorial Coliseum, and what Billy Joel means to me is just, I don't even know how to express in words. People have asked me, because I did write a novel, and people have asked me, what writers have influenced me, and I say, they expect me to say, F. Scott Fitzgerald or something like that, who, Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books. But the person who influenced me as far as writing is Billy Joel. His songs are stories. I learned how to write by writing lyrics. Actually, Weird Al Yankovic is the first person I learned writing from, because he wrote parody songs, and so I tried to write some parody songs for the soundtrack to Footloose, and I wrote Tooth Loose. And one of these days I'll read you those lyrics. But the next person is because my mom had the greatest hits album of Billy Joel, and I just learned how to play piano by ear, trying to be like Billy Joel. And yeah, he was a huge influence, especially his song Italian Restaurant, where it starts out slow and then it builds up into this whole fast section. The way Paul McCartney songs go from section to section is like A Day in the Life of the Beatles. It's just like you do one part of a song, then the song turns into something else, and then the song turns into something else. And so when Billy Joel got to his part where he says, Brenda and Eddie were the popular studies as the king and the queen at the prom, that is the line that influenced me the most as a writer. Just that wordplay. And I keep that in mind when I write. Alliteration and rhyme and wordplay and just the way you phrase things. And then there's Aaron Sorkin, who I learned just his dialogue is not just snappy, it's music. It's musical. And if you don't say it right, if you don't do the syllables correctly and the meter, it just changes. And so I learned writing musically before I learned to write prose. And so I've seen every time Billy Joel came to Portland or Tacoma in the late 80s, early 90s, I went. I also saw his Stormfront tour. And what else did he... Oh, sorry, I'm hitting the microphone. This is new, by the way. I'm just trying this. River of Dreams. But this is my T-shirt from the Bridge tour. I shouldn't have put this here. I'm so sorry. This is the T-shirt from the Bridge tour. Of course, when you see a concert, you have to wear it the next day to school to show off, hey, I went to the Billy Joel concert, and to see who else is wearing a T-shirt to find out who else went to that concert. And this was the Stormfront T-shirt. And I also saw Sting. I haven't unraveled these in about 20 years. So there's Sting. This is his Nothing Like the Sun concert. And seeing Sting was an amazing experience. Sting and Peter Gabriel and Pink Floyd and Billy Joel, writers who could actually write really well-crafted. Springsteen, his song Born to Run, those lyrics, man, they influenced me in, deep stuff. The band that influenced me the most is probably U2. Billy Joel as a single performer is my biggest influence, but as far as bands go, it's got to be U2. And I had the opportunity to see U2 do their pop album when I was living in San Francisco. This was probably 97, 98, whenever the pop tour went on tour, and I saw them at the Oakland Coliseum. And I think on YouTube you can go watch the concert there. Oh, I also wanted to mention, as far as Spinal Tap, if you go to YouTube and go 1992 Royal Albert Hall, I think you can watch parts of their concert on that tour and see kind of like what that concert was like. Anyway, I'm talking about U2 now. Sorry, I'm scatterbrained. Oh, God, I'm all over the place. This is such a menagerie of nonsense. Sorry. So I saw U2 at the Oakland Coliseum, and I remember, because it's such a departure, this disco tech was a complete departure from Joshua Tree and Rattle and Hum, which were very folky, but also like anthem and like a little gospel in there too. And just, I remember the first day that I heard Where the Streets Have No Name on the MTV, when MTV actually was playing videos, and I drove immediately to the store. I couldn't believe this music I was hearing. And I bought the Joshua Tree album and I brought it home and I listened to the whole thing. I was just blown away because it was totally, excuse me, Joshua Tree was a completely different kind of music than what was on the radio. What was on the radio was like Rick Ashley and Steve Winwood and all these drum machine techno bands. And then here's U2 doing a completely different style that just blew me away. And so I got into their, I bought their Unforgettable Fire album, and A Kind of Homecoming is a song I would play. I would listen to their Unforgettable Fire album in my car and just drive around the country rural area where I lived just all the time at night. That was the album. It was very inspiring to me. And what else was I was talking about? And I've just been a big fan of U2 for a long time. Phil Collins is another one I saw. He did an album called But Seriously, and that came out in 91. And I went to that tour. That was in Tacoma. I saw Billy Joel also in Tacoma once. I've been to Tacoma twice. One was for Billy Joel, and the other one was Phil Collins. We saw that, and that was cool because on the album cover, it starts out with a big tent, and then the tent opens up, and there's the band, and they do the concert, and at the end of the concert, the tent closes, and so it was like a circus tour, and man, that was really cool. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about buying tickets. So in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have internet, so you couldn't buy tickets online. So we had to physically go to the sporting goods store. Back when in Portland, it was called G.I. Joe's, was the sporting goods store. And you would wait in line. I would get up at, 5 in the morning, drive over to the sporting goods store, wait in line. Some people had camped out the night before. You literally had to camp out to get tickets. And so but I didn't want to camp out. So I'd get there at 5, park the car, have some snacks, bring a book, and just stand in line for 3 hours until the store opened at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And then you slowly go through the line. You get up to the ticket window. I think it was Ticketmaster. And they show you the map of the arena, and you'd point to the seats that you wanted to sit at that were available, and you'd buy your tickets, and they'd hand you the paper tickets. And tickets were I saw Billy Joel and Sting and Huey Lewis for $18. That's how much concert tickets were in late 80s, early 90s. It was about $18. I don't know what they are now. I'm not sure I want to know. I think they're hundreds, thousands? How much did people pay for the Taylor Swift tickets? I don't know. But yeah. So I'd wait 3 hours in line and pay $18 for tickets. And that's how it was, man. What else did I want to say? Okay, I've looked at my notes. I also wanted to say the first concert I ever went to was John Denver. I was in the 4th grade, and it was at the Memorial Coliseum, and he played in the middle of the arena, and the audience was completely around him and his band, and I just remember him strumming the guitar, and I don't remember much of anything, but I remember John Denver was the first big concert I ever went to, and that was cool. And I also saw, who else did I see? Bryan Adams. Now, somebody actually bought me this one. I love bringing the programs. The thing about these programs, it still smells like 1990. I mean, especially the Billy Joel one. This still smells like 1986. The printing ink or whatever they used still stays there. And if I ever just want to be transported back in time, all I have to do is smell one of these programs. And instantly I'm transported back in time to 1986 because it still smells like it. Smell does that to me. Smell is like the biggest transporter for me back in time. Just smelling the program really takes me back. So yeah, I saw Bryan Adams. Somebody else saw this tour. I saw another Bryan Adams tour. I saw his Wake Up the Neighbors tour, 92. That was at the Memorial Coliseum. I remember he was playing up on the stage really far away from us, and then halfway through the concert, he played at another stage. He came out and he played another stage that was right in front of us that I didn't even know that they had set up. And he ended up playing the half of the concert right in front of me. And then he started playing in the middle of the arena. And I remember reaching up while he was playing one of his songs, and my touch came about that far from his guitar while he was playing. And it was like, oh man, I almost touched his guitar while he was playing. Bryan Adams, Summer of '69, One Night Love Affair. Oh, yeah. Good times. I also saw Paula Cole, which I think I mentioned in one of my other videos. She was playing, when I talked about the Lilith Fair, I went to the Lilith Fair and saw Sarah McLachlan and Paula Cole and a whole bunch of other people. And Paula Cole before that was playing in a small San Francisco club. Susanna Hoffs, was she part of the Bangles or the We Got the Beat band with Belinda Carlisle? I can't remember. Anyway, Susanna Hoffs was there playing, and then they had Paula Cole playing in another part of the arena or another part of the club. Stage was right in front of us and just hammering on the piano. And yeah, it's a completely different experience seeing someone perform right in front of you as opposed to the stage being really far away. Like when I saw U2, I was just so far away. Also, I wanted to say with the U2 concert, man, halfway through their concert, they came out, and you can watch this online, they were wheeled out in an egg, in a big disco fluorescent mirror ball egg. The egg opened up and the band came out, and I never thought I'd see the folky band U2 come out of a disco egg. Man, that was I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm glad they've gone through many different iterations. I wish I would have seen In Excess, Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, Prince. The list goes on. Journey, I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have gone to Live Aid. The other thing I wanted to say is there was a band called Tales Untold in Portland who played in the mid-'90s, and I would go to some bar on Belmont in Portland, Oregon, and I would see Tales Untold all the time. And their album is actually on Spotify. It's got a song called Skeleton Key and a bunch of others, but good little band, kind of jazzy. But as far as local bands that I would continually see over and over again, that's really the only local band that I would see is Tales Untold. Anyway, you can go and find their album on Spotify. It's cool. Anyway, those are just some of the concert memories I've had. I would love to hear what concerts you've been to, what were the best concerts you've been to, what were the worst concerts you've been to, and what bands you recommend I listen to now, because I'm still listening to the old stuff, and I listen to chill out lounge music with no lyrics because it's really calming. But I just keep listening to the old stuff now. I listen to Christopher Cross. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. So thank you for listening to me ramble on about concerts and stuff like that. And I really would like to hear what you have to say about concerts, what concerts you've been to. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of me on YouTube, and we'll do it again. Have a great day. Yeah. I can put these back on now. Oh, yeah. No.